Welcome back to video number 8. Today, our goal, you will be able to multiply a binomial with a trinomial. So today we're going to be looking at polynomial multiplication. All right, so very similar to what we did yesterday with our binomial multiplication, we are going to use our two different methods, long distribution, or you can choose to use box multiplication. I'm going to show you a little bit of both. So let's go ahead and take a look at number one. Here we have a binomial, there's two terms, and then we have a trinomial, which is three terms. Now they're in parentheses, and the parentheses are touching. So that means the operation in the middle here is going to be multiplication. I'm going to try this first one using the box multiplication method. So I'm going to go over to the side here, and I have a trinomial, which is 3, and a binomial, which is 2. So I'm going to make myself a 3 by 2 grid. So here we go. I'm going to, there we go. So I'm going to put my trinomial across the top and my binomial down the side. So here we're going to have 4m squared minus 2m, and then a positive 5. And then my binomial is 2m and a 3. So now we're doing box multiplication. So to fill in the boxes, you're going to multiply across the columns. So here we have 4m squared and 2m, so I multiply that together, and 4 times 2 is 8. M squared times m to the 1 is m to the third. 4m squared times 3, this is going to give me 12m squared. Negative 2n times 2m is going to give me a negative 4m squared. Negative 2m times 3 is going to give me a negative 6m. 5 times 2m is going to give us 10m. And 5 times 3 gives us 15. Okay, now that we multiplied, it's time for us to combine like terms. So here we have 8m to the third. There's no other m to the thirds. So it's 8m to the third. Now here we have 12m squared. And this was a negative 4m squared, so that's going to give me a positive 8m squared. Here are our m's, so 6m, negative 6m, and 10m is going to give me a positive 4m. Here I have only one box with a constant, so I just add that on, 15. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our final solution. All right, let's go ahead and check out number 2. So once again, we have a binomial times a trinomial. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and use my long distribution. So y squared times y to the 4 is going to give me y to the 6. Y squared times 2y squared is going to give me a positive 2y to the 4. Y squared times 1 is just y squared. Now we're going to take the negative 2 and we're going to multiply it to everything. So negative 2 times y to the 4 is negative 2y to the 4. Negative 2 times 2y squared is going to give us a negative 4y squared. And then negative 2 times a positive 1 is a plus, oops, actually, nope, it's a minus 2. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to combine our like terms. So here I have a y to the 6. There's no other y to the 6th. Here we have a 2y to the 4th and a negative 2y to the 4th, and those are actually going to cancel out. Next I have a y squared, negative 4y squared, so together that gives me negative 3y squared, and then my constant, negative 2. And with that, we have simplified. We always want to make sure our final answer is in standard notation, so highest power, lower power, and then the constant at the end, and we've got it. All right, let's go ahead then and try number 3. I'm again going to go ahead and use my long distribution. What I'd like you to do right now is pause the video, and I'd like you to try this one on your own. Okay, so if we take a look here, I did my long distribution to get my terms. Now we have to finish by writing it in standard notation. So I start with my highest power. My highest power here is a to the third, and there's only one of them. So I write 2a to the third. Next, I'm going to look for my a squareds. I have a 4a squared and a negative 5a squared, so that gives me a negative 1a squared. And I don't have to write the 1 in front. I can just write a squared. Now I'm going to go to my a's with the first power. So negative 6a, negative 10a gives me a negative 16a. And then finally my constant plus 15. And that is our final answer. Okay, once again, I'd like you to push pause, and I'd like you to try number 4 on your own. All right, let's go ahead. In class, I'm going to check to see that you showed all of your work, but now I'd like you to check your final answer to see if you were able to get w to the third minus 9w squared minus 13w plus 35. All right, let's go ahead. We have one final example left, and I'm going to go ahead and I'd like you to put a star next to this one. So number 5, I'm going to let you know right now you're going to have one of these, just like this, on your quiz coming up. All right, so if I take a look here, I have x minus 3 squared times x plus 2. So remember, the first thing we always have to do is work on those powers. So I want to get rid of this power here. So if it's squared, that means I have to write it out twice. So this is actually x minus 3 times x minus 3 times x plus 2. Now, I can't multiply 3 binomials at once. So what we have to do is we have to choose 2 of them, multiply them first, and then we'll multiply by the last one. So I'm going to take these 2 and I'm going to multiply them together. So I'm actually going to go off to the side here. So here's my little think bubble. And let's go ahead. We have x minus 3 times x minus 3. So let's go ahead and use our long distribution. X times x, x squared. X times negative 3, negative 3x. Negative 3 times x, minus 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Now I can combine those middle terms. X squared minus 6x plus 9. Now this is a trinomial. I'm going to put it back into parentheses, and now I'm going to put it back into my expression. X squared minus 6x plus 9, all being multiplied to x plus 2. So now I have a trinomial times a binomial, which is exactly what we learned how to do today. So we're going to go ahead and we can use our long distribution here. So I'm going to go again off to the side. And I like to do my binomial first. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as x plus 2. Remember, this is the commutative property. We are allowed to switch the parentheses as long as it's multiplication. And now I can use my long distribution. X times x squared, x to the third. X times negative 6, negative 6x squared. X times 9 plus 9x. 2 times x squared plus 2x squared. 2 times negative 6x is going to give me a negative 12x. And 2 times 9, 18. Now to write my final answer, I just have to combine my like terms. So let's go ahead. We have an x to the third. There's no other x to the thirds. My next highest power is x to the sixth, or I'm sorry, x to the second, and I have a negative 6x to the second and a positive 2x to the second. That's minus 4x to the second. Now I'm going to look at my x's. So I have a 9x, a negative 12x. So that's going to give us a negative 3x. And then we have our constant, which is 18. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have just multiplied a binomial times a binomial times a binomial. Great job, everyone. I will see you in class tomorrow.